Black American Reparations Tax Immunity by Robert Ben Mitchell, June 4th, 2020. Empires need slaves. From the Ming Dynasties to the Third Reich and throughout the history of the United States, even today, slavery has been and is the foundation upon which all dominant societies have been built due to the paradigm it takes a lot of poor people to make a rich person. And poverty can be maintained either literally through physical enslavement or figuratively through economic slavery. Unlike other minorities who immigrated to the United States, either willingly or by force, Black Americans were the only ones who came here without the benefit or hope of a future. In other words, because they were brought here under physical slavery from which there was no hope of escape, for centuries they never had the opportunity to grow like others. All they could hope for was a short, painful life, hard work or not. Even the Chinese who were brought here to build the first railroads were, for the most part, contracted as indentured workers who could, over time, buy their freedom and begin the long, arduous, multi-generational process towards some semblance of equity and equality with white America. The same could never be said for Black Americans, whose earliest enslavement in this country can be traced back to the 1500s. Since then, it took over 300 years to outlaw this by war in 1865, and another 100 years to confirm both affirmative action in 1961 and civil rights in 1965. Hypocritically, affirmative action would then be gutted in less than 50 years by reverse discrimination. How could any community, neighborhood, or person be expected to rise to a fair and equitable level within a society that has hamstrung them for 5 centuries? Yet this historical injustice can be resolved through tax immunity, ending local, state, and federal government taxation of Black Americans until such time as their community reaches financial equity with white America. Why? Because today money is power, economic power, social power, and political power. With it, you can hold your own in the ever-changing tides of American democracy. Without it, you are the invisible poor upon whom the economic elite rest and reside. Tax immunity, administered through a national Black American tax immunity card, would allow Black Americans to generate their own reparations year after year until community-wide financial equity is reached with white America. The goal would be to have similar percentages of Black and white individuals at all levels: poor, middle class, and wealthy, with Black Americans ultimately owning 13 to 14% of all wealth in America. In other words, a percentage equal to their representation in the overall population. In addition, tax immunity would allow Black Americans to decide how to spend their reparations rather than having someone else decide that for them. In some ways, this is similar to the tax credits we give to large corporations as a means of stimulating their growth. Why not use a similar mechanism to raise the Black American community into economic parity with their historical oppressors? A process like this could be managed through the federal government's Internal Revenue Service and General Accounting Office by monitoring the evolving distribution of wealth within the Black American community, and then tapering off individuals' tax immunity as the overall wealth distribution of Black Americans rises to an equitable level with white America.